Greece. Top tourist destinations. In this video, we will take you to the best tourist destinations in Greece, which you should never miss while you are in Greece. This tour will take 4 days to cover all these places. Number 1. We are now a short halt at Corinth Canal. The Corinth Canal is an artificial canal in Greece that connects the Gulf of Corinth in the Ionian Sea with the Saronic Gulf in the Aegean Sea. It cuts through the narrow isthmus of Corinth and separates the Peloponnese from the Greek mainland, arguably making the peninsula an island. The canal was dug through the isthmus at sea level and has no locks. It is 6.4 kilometers in length and only 24.6 meters wide at sea level, making it impassable for many modern ships. It is currently of little economic importance and is now mainly a tourist attraction. Number 2. Epidaurus Theatre. Epidaurus was a small city in ancient Greece. The prosperity brought by the Asclepian enabled Epidaurus to construct huge theatre you are seeing in this video, that delighted Pausanias for its symmetry and beauty, used again today for dramatic performances, the ceremonial Hestiatorion and a palestra. The original 34 rows were extended in Roman times by another 21 rows. As is usual for Greek theatres, the view on a lush landscape behind the scene is an integral part of the theatre itself and is not to be obscured. It seats up to 14,000 people. The theatre has long had a reputation for its exceptional acoustics, which reportedly allowed almost perfect intelligibility of unamplified spoken words from the proscenium or scene to all 14,000 spectators, regardless of their seating. The acoustic properties are caused both by the physical shape, but also the construction material. The rows of limestone seats filter out low-frequency sounds, such as the murmur of the crowd, and also amplify the high-frequency sounds of the stage. Number 3. Archaeological Museum of the Asclepian of Epidaurus. The Archaeological Museum of Epidaurus, located at the entrance to the site of the Asclepian. The museum was established to display artifacts unearthed in the ancient site of Epidaurus. The museum has reconstructions of temples and architectural components, particularly those found at the Asclepian sanctuary, plus a collection of Greek and Roman sculptures. Number 4. Mycenae. Mycenae is an archaeological site near Mykonos in Argolis, northeastern Peloponnese. It is located about 120 kilometers southwest of Athens. The site is 19 kilometers inland from the Saronic Gulf, and built upon a hill rising 900 feet above sea level. In the 2nd millennium BC, Mycenae was one of the major centers of Greek civilization, a military stronghold which dominated much of southern Greece, Crete, the Cyclades, and parts of southwest Anatolia. The period of Greek history from about 1600 BC to about 1100 BC is called Mycenaean in reference to Mycenae. At its peak in 1350 BC, the citadel and lower town had a population of 30,000 and an area of 32 hectares. The first correct identification of Mycenae in modern literature was in 1700, during a survey conducted by the Venetian engineer Francesco Vandyck on behalf of Francesco Grimani, the Proveditore Generale of the Kingdom of the Morea. Vandyck used Pausanias's description of the Lion Gate to identify the ruins of Mycenae. In 1999, the archaeological site of Mycenae was inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List, along with the nearby site of Tiryns, because of its historical importance as the center of the Mycenaean civilization, its outstanding architecture, and its testimony to the development of ancient Greek civilization. The Lion's Gate, the treasury of Atrus, and the walls of Tiryns are examples of the noteworthy architecture found in Mycenae and Tiryns. These discovery structures and layouts exemplify the human creative talent of the time. Greek architecture and urban planning have been significantly influenced by the Mycenaean civilization. Mycenae and Tiryn, which stand as the pinnacle of the early phases of Greek civilization, provided unique witness to political, social, and economic growth during the Mycenaean civilization. The accomplishments of the Mycenaean civilization in art, architecture, and technology, which inspired European cultures, are also on display at both locations. A stringent legal framework was established to safeguard the integrity of the Mycenae and Tiryns sites against vandalism and other forms of damage and disturbance to the remains. The Hellenic Ministry of Culture and Sports monitors the two archaeological sites. To maintain the quality and conditions of the Mycenaean and Tyrant sites, archaeological study is conducted methodically and systematically. Nafplio. It is a beautiful coastal city located in the Peloponnese in Greece, and it is the capital of the regional unit of Argolis and an important touristic destination. Founded in antiquity, the city became an important seaport in the Middle Ages during the Francocratia as part of the lordship of Argos and Naplia, held initially by the de la Roche following the Fourth Crusade before coming under the Republic of Venice and, lastly, the Ottoman Empire. The city was the second capital of the First Hellenic Republic and of the Kingdom of Greece, from 1827 until 1834. Nafplion is considered to be one of the most beautiful cities in Greece, which at the same time brings together unique memories of the country from different times such as Byzantine, Frankish, Venetian, Ottoman, and early years of liberation. The city, even today, carries all the traits of the capital of the prefecture of Romania as Napoli di Romania at the time of Morosini, as well as the capital of Velidi in the Peloponnese until 1770. Number 5. Olympia. Olympia is a small town in Elis on the Peloponnese Peninsula in Greece, famous for the nearby archaeological site of the same name. This site was a major Pan-Hellenic religious sanctuary of ancient Greece, where the ancient Olympic Games were held every 4 years throughout classical antiquity, from the 8th century BC to the 4th century AD. They were restored on a global basis in 1894 in honor of the ideal of peaceful international contention for excellence. According to UNESCO's World Heritage website, there is probably no ancient archaeological site anywhere in the world more relevant in today's world than Olympia. The Stadium of Olympia, where the ancient Olympic Games were held, and the massive Temple of Zeus, the largest temple in the Peloponnese, are the site's most significant attractions. The sacred precinct, named the Altis, was primarily dedicated to Zeus, although other gods were worshipped there. The games conducted in his name drew visitors from all over the Greek world as one of a group of such Pan-Hellenic centers, which helped to build the identity of the ancient Greeks as a nation. Despite the name, it is nowhere near Mount Olympus in northern Greece, where the 12 Olympians, the major deities of ancient Greek religion, were believed to live. The archaeological site held over 760 significant buildings, and ruins of many of these survive. Of special interest to Greeks of all times is the Pelopion, the tomb of the quasi-mythical king, ancestor of the Atreids, the two kings who led their domains to war against Troy. The Peloponnesus is named for Pelops. The tomb suggests that he may not have been entirely mythical. Another location that has a special interest to both ancients and moderns is the stadium. It is basically a field with start and end lines marked off by transverse curbing. The athletes entered under an archway of a vaulted corridor at the start. Spectators sat mainly on the field's sloping flanks. The length of this field became the standard stadium, an ancient Greek unit of distance, which appears in all the geographers. The stadium has been resurrected for Olympic use with no intentional alteration of the ancient topography. Transient stands are easily thrown up and removed. The first major games to have been played in the Olympia Stadium were said to have first begun in the 720s. These prestigious ancient games took place during the festival of Zeus at Olympia. Olympia was a sanctuary, but it was within the independent state of Elis, and since the Hellenes managed the games, there was sometimes bias. The famous Olympic truce only mandated safe passage for visitors and did not stop all wars in Greece or even at Olympia. The village services the adjacent archaeological site to the southeast. The Kladios River forms the site's western border. Visitors walk over the bridge to find themselves in front of the main gate. Full visitation is an extensive walking event. Some excavation is in progress there frequently. Movable artifacts for the most part have found a home in one of the site's 3 museums. Olympia lies in the valley of the Alpheos River in the western part of the Peloponnese, today around 18 km from the Gulf of Kyparissia in the Ionian Sea, but perhaps, in antiquity, half that distance. According to Pausanias, there were over 70 temples in total, as well as treasuries, altars, statues, and other structures dedicated to many deities. Somewhat in contrast to Delphi, where a similar large collection of monuments were tightly packed within the Temenos boundary, Olympia sprawled beyond the boundary wall, especially in the areas devoted to the games. To the north of the sanctuary can be found the Prytaneon and the Philippion, as well as the array of treasuries representing the various city-states. The Matroon lies to the south of these treasuries, with the Echo Stoa to the east. The Hippodrome and later stadium were located east of the Echo Stoa. To the south of the sanctuary is the South Stoa and the Bouleuterion, whereas the Palestra, the workshop of Phidias, the Gymnasium, and the Leonidaion lie to the west. Olympia was also known for the gigantic chryselephantine statue of Zeus that was the cult image in his temple, sculpted by Phidias, which was named one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world by Antipater of Sidon. Very close to the temple of Zeus, which housed this statue, the studio of Phidias was excavated in the 1950s. Number 6. Archaeological Museum of Olympia. The Archaeological Museum of Olympia is one of the principal museums of Greece, located in Olympia. It is overseen by the Ministry of Culture and Sports and, as of 2009, is directed by Georgia Zatsi. When the original building was completed and opened in 1882, it was the first museum in Greece outside of Athens. The museum houses discoveries from the surrounding area, including the site of the ancient Olympic Games. The collection includes objects produced and used in the area from prehistory to its time under Roman rule. The principal pieces in the museum are Hermes and the infant Dionysus, some objects from the Temple of Zeus, the Nike of Paionios, as well as an inakui that belonged to Phidias. The extent of its bronze collection makes it one of the most important in the world. Today, the museum is housed in 2 buildings, the principal building with 12 rooms for exhibitions, organized both around themes and ages of the objects. The other building is dedicated to the museum store, and is separate from the main structure, located on the path to the archaeological site. We are now passing by one of the most beautiful bridge, named Rio Antirio Bridge. The bridge is specially designed to withstand earthquakes of 7.5 on the Richter scale. The Rio Antirio Bridge is a multi-span cable-stayed bridge that crosses the Gulf of Corinth between Rio on the Peloponnese and Antirio on the mainland of Greece. Construction started in 1998 and opened just before the Summer Olympics in Athens in 2004. The bridge has reduced the travel time from 45 minutes that the ferries used to 5 minutes. The Rio Antirio Bridge is nearly 3 km long and the 3 largest spans are 560 meters. The bridge has 4 towers that go up to 65 meters below the sea. Look at this beautiful town, Naupaktos. It is a large seaside town on the north shore of the Corinthian Gulf with a long beach and an impressive Venetian castle that includes a small fortified harbor. It was an important Athenian naval base during the Peloponnesian War due to its proximity to the western entrance of the Gulf. Number 7. The first destination today is Delphi. Delphi is famous for one thing in particular. It is home to the world-famous Oracle of Delphi. This oracle was renowned in ancient Greece, as pilgrims from all over the Mediterranean would visit it to receive the prophecies of the ancient Greek god Apollo. The prophecies were delivered by Apollo through the words of Pythia, the high priestess of his temple. According to the myth, which the scientists have also confirmed, Delphi is the navel of the Earth, meaning it is the central point of planet Earth. As time went on, apart from a religious sanctuary, Delphi, Greece also became the base of a political and military association. Today, many travelers flock to Delphi to explore the glorious oracle of Delphi and be transported back to ancient times. Delphi, Greece has long been a popular destination among the tourists. It is also one of the most popular and interesting archaeological sites in Greece. Its fame can be traced back to the ancient times when the glorious sanctuary of the ancient Greek god Apollo was built there. Immediately upon arriving in Delphi, you'll be seduced by its mythical charm. The sanctuary of Apollo also served as an oracle, where pilgrims from all over the Mediterranean would go to receive God's prophecy. Apollo would deliver his prophecies through the words of Pythia, the high priestess of the temple. The Temple of Delphi is surrounded by treasury buildings which contain the offerings of the city-states to the oracle and by verdant mountains, which highlight its beauty. During ancient times, athletic competitions were organized every 4 years in honor of the god Apollo. The Pythian Games, as they were called, would take place at the stadium on the highest spot of the archaeological site. To get ready for the games, the athletes would train at the gymnasium, a gym on the southern side of the site. It's worth a visit. Number 8. The Archaeological Museum of Delphi shelters the extensive artifacts unearthed during excavations at the Delphi Oracle and its vicinity. It is located adjacent to the archaeological site, and it is one of the top must-see museums in Greece, mainly because of the breadth and quality of artifacts it includes. The permanent exhibition covers over 1,000 years, from the Mycenaean era to the Greco-Roman times. It is one of the principal museums of Greece and one of the most visited. It is operated by the Greek Ministry of Culture. Founded in 1903, it has been rearranged several times and houses the discoveries made at the Pan-Hellenic sanctuary of Delphi, which date from the late Helladic, Mycenaean, period to the early Byzantine era. Organized in 14 rooms on 2 levels, the museum mainly displays statues, including the famous charioteer of Delphi, architectural elements, like the frieze of the Siphaean treasury and ex-votos dedicated to the sanctuary of Pythian Apollo, like the Sphinx of Naxos. The Archaeological Museum of Delphi presents the history of the famous Delphic sanctuary and the most prominent oracle of the ancient Greek world. The collection of the museum presents some of the most important works of ancient Greek art, covering the period from the 2nd millennium BC, before the foundation of the sanctuary, until late antiquity, when a small Christian community was established in Delphi. Look at this memorial of Leonidas and 300 Spartans at Thermopylae. Meteora in Greece is one of the most impressive regions of the country. Located on the northern side of Greece, in Thessaly, this spectacular place is included in the World Heritage List. You should never miss to visit this place in Greece. Meteora monasteries are the miracle of Greece. Few kilometers northwest of the town of Kalabaka, the impressive rocks of Meteora are rising from the plains of Thessaly, been one of the most amazing places in Greece. Many centuries ago, on these gigantic rocks with the breathtaking landscape reaching heights of more than 600 meters, it was formed one of the most important monastic communities of Greece. The Greek word meteora means suspended in the air, and this phrase aptly describes these remarkable Greek Orthodox monasteries. Meteora is a great place to experience a spectacular landscape and Byzantine monasteries perched on top of steep rocks that house priceless artifacts and wall paintings. Today only 6 monasteries are active, with a small number of monks or nuns who reside on Meteora. In 1988, the Meteora monasteries have been included in the UNESCO World Heritage List, and the Meteora Anticasia area is part of the Natura 2000 network, hosting some rare species of birds and flowers. As you approach the town of Kalabaka, the nearest big town near Meteora, and the picturesque village of Kastraki, you will see a complex of giant sandstone rock pillars that climb up into the sky. On top of them you will spot the famous Meteora monasteries. Meteora is a beautiful region in the northern part of Greece. What makes it a special place to visit is the huge rock pinnacles that are a unique sight in Greece. Monasteries that were built on top of them hundreds of years ago still stand and highlight the beauty of the natural landscape, attracting millions of visitors every year. The famous monasteries date back to the Byzantine era and they lie on the top of massive rock formations. The breathtaking natural landscape was shaped approximately 60 million years ago. Religious tourism is very popular in this area. Numerous travelers arrive every year to visit the 6 stunning monasteries on the tops of the rock formations. Out of the 25 monasteries constructed there during the Byzantine times, only 6 are still operating and are open to the public. All these are worth visiting. Nevertheless, the traditional monasteries are not the only reason why tourists flock to this place. Many travelers also visit it to hike or rock climb, 2 of the most popular things to do there. As for the landscape, it is, of course, perfect for nature exploration. The biggest and most popular monastery is the Grand Monastery. The Grand Monastery has a unique architecture and boasts a breathtaking view of the valley. If you want to visit a more quiet one, then you should opt for the Monastery of Agios Stefanos, which is a very interesting place to explore. Right next to Meteora lies Kalimbaka, a lovely town, which you can use as a base of your exploration. In Kalimbaka, you'll find many hotels, restaurants, shops, and facilities. Just for a recap, look at all the 6 monasteries of Meteora. Holy Monastery of Great Meteoron. Holy Monastery of Varlam. Holy Monastery of Rousanu. Holy Monastery of St. Nicholas Anapapsis. Holy Monastery of St. Stephen. Holy Monastery of Holy Trinity. Number 10. Thermopylae. It is a place in Greece where a narrow coastal passage existed in antiquity. It derives its name from its hot sulfur springs. In Greek mythology, the Hot Gates is one of the entrances to Hades. Many tourists come here for bathing, as it has healing effect. According to the ancient Greeks, these springs would be a gateway to the hell of Hades.